that. Now, we are joined by our correspondent Siddharth MP from Chennai as well. Siddharth, thank you for staying with us. All eyes have been on the south. BJP predicted double-digit figures in Tamil Nadu. What can you tell us about that?
So traditionally, the south is a region that has voted quite differently from the north. In fact, extremely differently from the north. It's a polar opposite. This is a region that has not seen much support for the BJP, but this is not a party that sort of takes this lying down. This is a party that has always strived to further their tally here, beat the seats or the vote percentage. In the 2021 assembly polls here, there was a major fillip for the BJP because they stood with the then ruling party AIDMK. The AIDMK was defending their government. Of course, they did not succeed. The power was, then transferred to the DMK, which was elected by the people. But then in that election, BJP saw 4 MLAs being elected to the state assembly in Tamil Nadu. That was a considerable motivation for the party to actually strive for 2024 to ensure that they can take whatever they call the Modi magic to this part of the country as well. The strategy is quite simple because in the northern parts of the country, in what is regarded widely as the Hindi heartland, the BJP knows fully well that it is their stronghold. But then there is also this a little bit of discomfort and doubt that will some seats from the northern stronghold actually bleed away from the BJP? Will they go towards the India alliance? Which is where they want to focus on the south, where there are large states like Tamil Nadu. 39 MPs go to the lower house of parliament from here. So they would like to capitalize on this region, try and see what best they can get. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the numbers that are largely expected because although they have quite a big umbrella alliance with the regional parties here, some of the stronger outfits and caste-based outfits, it has to be remembered that this is a political scene largely dominated by the DMK Congress-led India alliance. Yes. That's how it was in 2019. They swept it. Then it was not called India. But DMK Congress swept 39 seats in Tamil Nadu, 38 seats in Tamil Nadu, and the NDA got only 1 seat. So this time they're hoping that fortunes would slightly change. And of course, the political dynamics of alliances have also changed. Last time BJP was allied with the AIDMK here. This time it's a tri-cornered fight, BJP, AIDMK, DMK. So every seat that BJP wins here will be seen with a great deal of enthusiasm and confidence in the southern region where they have not seen considerable success in the past. And it's also a matter of prestige because to give you a wider perspective of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, the parties here that rule the state often taunt the BJP saying, you should start opening your account here and then talk about, ambitious things. Yes. You first, establish your roots here. You show the numbers, you show the people's support in terms of the seats you have, and then establish who you are. So that is where BJP sees this as a prestige battle, and it's important to see how the South will respond to the BJP's message. And, in a couple of hours from now, we should be able to see which way the people have voted, Hem and Shivan.
Absolutely, Siddharth. Now, I just want to bring in some figures here. Of course, polling, counting started just about 15 minutes back. The numbers that have come in already, 60 seats for the NDA, 26 for the opposition, the India bloc, and 7 seats for others. NDA is already twice as many as the India bloc. We might just get to know the result in a couple of hours. I don't think we'll need to wait till the afternoon.
No. The results will take a long time. So these are based on the ballot votes and all that. So it will take many more hours for us to get the actual results.
Yes.
You will get the trends. Basically, what happens is till about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you're just getting the trends.
Yes.
The actual counting completion will take, maybe at least 4 or 5 hours in any of the constituencies. So these are not results as such. So
they are going to be, of course, trends coming in. And I just want to come back to Siddharth MP. Siddharth, of course, you have been tracking all the developments that came in from the south. With the developments which came in on the Prajwal Revanna case, finally he was, taken in by the authorities as soon as he landed in Bengaluru from coming in from Munich. Talk to us about the implications of that case on the political dynamics there.
Indeed, Prajwal Revanna case is an absolute shocker. This was something that was a tragedy that unfolded in Karnataka right after polling was completed. But there's also something that has to be noted. It's a pattern. So on April 26th, Karnataka's first phase of polling happened. And that was also the region where, 14 seats went to the polls in largely the southern part of Karnataka, Bengaluru and adjoining districts and so on. The southern parts and the coastal belt of Karnataka voted at that point in time. So this is also the region where Deve Gowda family and their strongholds are, they contested in 3 seats as part of the BJP-led alliance. That is the JDS, which is Prajwal Revanna's party, contested as part of the BJP's NDA alliance. So Prajwal Revanna himself seeking a second term. So what we have to keep in mind is that this entire thing broke out just a day after polling was completed, and Prajwal Revanna also fled only after polling was completed. So there was a 1-week interim between the first phase of polling in Karnataka and the second phase of polling in Karnataka roughly. So in that 1-week interim, this case blew up. Details started emerging. There were traumatizing accounts that emerged. And of course, there was a huge political uproar over it. And there was news of Prajwal Revanna having fled. So the impact of this is something we'll have to watch, particularly in the northern belt of Karnataka, because the southern belt of Karnataka had already voted much before this case and its details had actually arrived. So we have to observe northern belts of Karnataka, particularly women voters. So we'll have to observe how they sort of perceive this issue, because this is, of course, pertaining to women and women's safety. It's not that males don't look at it that way, but then this is something that concerns women voters more. Yes. And then we'll have to see how this emotionally affects and sways them one way or the other. Right. So that's something we have to watch. But also, the northern parts of Karnataka anyway are not seen as JDS strongholds. The real impact would be something on BJP and BJP's candidates, because they're in an alliance. So will it be seen as though BJP is complicit in this because they knew, or they were at least, in partnership with JDS, despite, being aware of whatever happened with Prajwal Revanna and that entire controversy. So will it dent BJP's prospects there in the northern parts of Karnataka? We have to wait and watch. Hey, Shivan.
Right. Now, Mr. Upadhyay, if I could just come to you on the same question. Siddharth has, of course, painted a picture for how this really played out and what the implications were. What is your take on this?
Well, I come from Karnataka, so yes. I'm a little more familiar with what is happening there. You see, Karnataka is one state Congress was looking at as a big harvest they can get. They were looking at 15 to 20 seats from Karnataka, because they have a government there now for the last 1 year. And as we know, in May 2023, so the Siddaramaiah government came to power. They got a massive mandate, 135. And the BJP government, which is there in power, they lost and they got only 66. So since then, the Siddaramaiah government has implemented 5 guarantees. Mm-hmm. These guarantees, free bus service for women, 2,000 rupees per month to a head of the family, woman head of the family, like this, there were some 5 guarantees. And Siddaramaiah government had gone out of the way to fulfill them, keeping the Lok Sabha election in mind. So that being the case, they...
അങ്ങനെ ഒരു തോന്നൽ വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. ശ്രീ ഖർഗെ എത്ര ഒരു അനുഭവിയാണ്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിനൊപ്പം ഇരുന്നിട്ടാണ് ഈ നമ്പർ വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഇവർ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ആയിരിക്കില്ല. ഇവർ പറയണത് ഇന്ത്യ അലയൻസ് മൊത്തം 150 ഒക്കെയാണ് ഈ എക്സിറ്റ് പോൾ കാണിക്കുന്നത്. ഞാൻ പറയും എന്തായാലും അതിനും കാട്ടും നല്ലോണം കൂടുതലായിരിക്കും. എത്രയെന്ന് പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഖർഗെ സാർ ഇറക്കിയ എണ്ണം 295 അതിനെ നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു യാർഡ് സ്റ്റിക്കായി വെച്ചിട്ട് പിന്നെ നോക്കൂ എന്താ വരാൻ പോണത്. ഇന്നെന്തായാലും നമുക്ക് പല കാര്യങ്ങളും.
Mr. Upadhyay, talking about the political landscape in Kerala, has the BJP finally made inroads there? Of course, we were talking about Tamil Nadu earlier with our correspondent Siddharth MP. BJP was hoping for double-digit figures in Tamil Nadu. Exit polls are not suggesting that. But when it comes to Kerala, have they finally made inroads or started their account there?
Probably so. I think, Thrissur was one seat which they were likely to win, and Thiruvananthapuram is another seat. So if they get, this will be just getting the foot inside the, door.
Yes.
So if that happens, and also I was looking at the voting percentage. So they were getting about, from the exit poll, about 25-27%. From raising from 12-14 to go up to that level, that will be, big boost for the BJP. They do that.
And, this stigma that was always present regarding the BJP not having a foot in the door in the south, or any presence, for that matter, how crucial will be the states of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Telangana, Andhra, that, they are finally able to now have a proper presence there?
I think the Prime Minister Modi was very, very conscious of this fact, that,
the South is not really trips he made to these southern states.
Number of trips he has made, and the number of attempts he has made. See, 2014 and 2019, Also, he could not make much of an impact. And assembly elections, see, he has not been able to make an impact in assembly elections. In 2023 assembly elections, he campaigned heavily in Karnataka, but still the BJP lost. So he is very conscious of the fact that BJP hasn't got the acceptance in the south. So he went out of the way this time to garner support for the BJP, and it looks like they are getting some traction, especially in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, which had shut the door for BJP. It was only Karnataka which had welcomed BJP, and Karnataka has been consistently supporting them for the last 3-4 elections. Yes. But Andhra Pradesh, they didn't have any seats, or even Telangana also, they had only 3 or 4 seats. So it looks like they're winning lots of seats even in Telangana, and in with the TDP, Andhra Pradesh also they are winning more seats. Yes. So it looks like from 29 seats they won in 2019 out of 130 in the south, probably they will go up to about 55, 60. So it will be a huge this thing for them.
Right, so I also wanted to emphasize a point that you'd made earlier, that right now the numbers that are coming in are only a gauge of the trends that are appearing, that are emerging right now. One other point that really sticks out here and that we've been talking about as well, and I just want to get your thoughts on this, the opposition bloc, it's really still at this point hoping to spring in a surprise of sorts. What would you say is the basis for this?
I don't know. I think they have to come out with that. You see, it's, what did Rahul Gandhi say yesterday? We are winning 295.
Yes, 295 was a figure he mentioned.
And what is this? Musewala's song. I mean, he's taken inspiration from Musewala's song.
And he turned back to make that statement. He came back to the cameras to say that.
And then, you see, this magic number has come from Musewala's song. So I think Musewala has to come and, give them that kind of number. So it's really bizarre. I mean, they should have worked really hard if they wanted to do well. And if it's not going your way, you need to accept it. This is democracy. You can't, I'm not just going to accept what is coming out. So once the figures, look, they need not accept what the exit polls have said,
right.
Because exit polls have gone wrong.
Yes. Right.
They can say, look, we are not agreeing with this, but then to turn it around and say, look, there is a conspiracy, and then to say election commission has done this or done that, or home minister has spoken to 195, 150 DCs, because who are the executives of conducting the elections? I mean, these are dangerous statements to make without any kind of support. So that is why the Election Commission has asked Jairam Ramesh, the spokesman of Congress, you let us know what evidence you have that the Home Minister spoke to these DCs. So without that, you can't make some kind of bombastic statements and get away with that.
You're right. These are, as you mentioned, these are just exit poll numbers, and of course we're waiting for the final numbers. We'd also heard Shashi Tharoor earlier say that exit poll numbers often tend to be deeply unscientific.
Absolutely.
Those are the words I believe he used. That being said, sir, let's talk about what's happening in Srinagar. We were discussing this earlier as well. What is your take on how the election process has played out there?
In fact, one of the comments that the Prime Minister made in an umpteen number of interviews he gave, I mean, that was another highlight of this election. You see, he was accused of not talking to the media. Earlier, he said, he keeps away from media, he doesn't hold press conferences and this. This time, he has bombarded the television. I mean, I think which took the opposition also by surprise. And it was so well orchestrated, I must say. I mean, as a communicator, I could see how he was, doing it. He has given interviews to channels which are, in the region in which elections are going to happen. So if the Tamil Nadu election was going for elections, he gave to Sun TV, which is huge there. Like this, it was all that. So what I mean to say is that, the Prime Minister knew that this is going to be a very, very important election, and that's the reason why he went out of the way too.